I'm gonna think about basic shapes. Okay, so he's got a big round circle for his nose, right about here. Big round circle for his nose, right about there. Okay, and now we're gonna draw a little hump-like shape, like here. It's like a hill shape for one of his eyes. And we're gonna draw a bigger hill shape. It's like a hill shape right here for his other eye. See, these kind of like hill shapes. All right, and then this part here is gonna come in like this, and it's gonna come down a little bit, and we're gonna draw like a sort of a round shape here for his jaws here. It's kind of like round and curvy. It's gonna come around like this actually. It's gonna come like this. It's like a big C shape. Look at that. See, like the letter C, but extending out a bit like that. Okay, and then we're gonna drop it down a little bit like that. Just drop it down, because that's going to be where his mouth is. And then we're going to come up like that. We're going to curve, meet up to this big round part, which is his
nose.
That's right. Okay, so now we're going to see, make it meet up like that. Just make it kind of meet up like that, okay? And his tongue, well, actually, before we do his tongue, which is the fun part, we're going to draw his mouth in. So just a little line here, and it's going to drop a little bit down, drop a little bit down, and it's going to be on a little bit of an angle coming this way, and it's going to come around. It's going to curve around to this side where you can't see it, kind of like. And then we're going to stick out his tongue. It's going to be so cool. Here we go. Here we go. Starting from here. Boom! Just draw a tongue shape sticking out here. Look at that. It's wider here and comes in like that. You can make your tongue stick out more if you want. Okay, so here we go. We're going to draw his eyes. And we're going to start from... Okay, I'm going to clean this up a little bit so you can see. Okay, here we go. I'm going to draw his eyes. Okay, we're starting from right about like here. Okay, right about here. See how it kind of cuts in like that from this line? There's a little line here, right? Cuts in like that, and it's going to be round. It's the same shape as this, but it's just going to be a little bit more narrower. It's going to come in like that. And just draw lightly and loosely right now, because we're not in the final drawing stage. In the final drawing stage, we are going to draw it more definitely. And we're going to either ink it or pencil it more definitely. But right now, we're just drawing nice and loose and rough, okay? And then we're going to draw his eyeballs, his pupil, actually. This is his eyeball, actually. That's the white of his eye. Now we're going to draw his eyeball shape, which is, what shape is that?
A circle, oval.
Yeah, that's right. It's a circle, or it's actually an ellipse, which is actually a circle stretched out. It's kind of like, it's in perspective. So anyway, so we're going to draw his pupil here. It's going to be it's kind of like a circle stretched out this way. That's what I mean by ellipse, okay? So we're going to draw, it's kind of like half hidden. So think of that as hidden because it's on an angle. I'm looking at him sideways, so it's like this. See that? Where it kind of comes in this side so you can barely see it, okay? And we can make a little dot here for where his shine of his eye is gonna be. Okay? You could shade it in if you want. I'm gonna lightly shade in so you can kind of see that. There we go. There we go. One eye down. Look at that. All right. Now we're gonna do the other side now. Okay, I'm just gonna refine that a little bit so you can see it. Okay, and this shape here is gonna bulge out. That's his nose. I'm refining that a little bit so you can see that. Okay, so now his other eye is gonna start right about, see where his pupil is? Okay, we're gonna start it right about here. And it's gonna kind of like taper into here where it gets very thin here, like that. You see that? It's kind of like it's narrow here, right? And then his other pupil, you can barely see it. We're just gonna put it right there. See that? I'll move my hand away so you can see it. And you can darken that too so you can see it. There you go. Look at that. That's kind of like his other eye poking through. Okay? And, okay, we'll refine the shapes later. But let's get on with the his body here. Okay, so we kind of got his head there. Now, look at it, and everything in drawing is about putting things in the right place and using basic shapes and then just refining the shapes more. So it's important where we put things, and how you do that is by cross-referencing. So what I mean by that is you reference another area. So let's look at his big cheeks here, right? So how do we know where to put his body? I would say, so this part, you see this part where it drops down, right? No, we're not putting it there. We're putting it right about here. See, this is the part that drops. We're not putting it there. We're putting it right about here. So we're going to drop down like that. That's where his body's going to be. Okay? And we're going to think about his body in perspective too. So we're looking at him on a side angle. Okay, so we're going to just come like that, a shape like that. It's going to be on an angle coming this way. So we'll drop a line down like that and angle this way. Okay? And then his legs are going to be right about here. Okay? And then his tail. Okay? So once you got that, and his tail is going to be right about, so this is his leg part. We're just going to kind of roughen a shape for his leg. Okay, so it's kind of like a sort of a oval kind of a shape here for his leg. And then his tail is going to be right about here. It's going to pop out this way. Don't go too high. So we're going to cross-reference where that's going to be. It's going to be right about, I think I went a little bit too high here. Let's go a little bit lower. Let's go a little bit lower. So see his cheek right here? Yeah, you don't need to make it too high. Right about here, I'll say. And it's going to come down like that. And then we're going to draw another sort of a circular hill sort of a shape here for that little red thing on his back. What is that red thing on his back?
I don't know. And
what is that thing?
The toy is like a button. And the toy is like a button, and then you press it, and then like the tongue shoots out.
Okay, so anyway, so now we're drawing this red part here. This cool little red thing he's got here. Okay? And so just make it like a little hump here, a little circle, like a half circle. And then it's gonna curve in like that. See, I'm drawing very lightly, so we can change it if we need to and shape it if we need to. And then there's sort of like a rim around it, like a border. And that's gonna come right around like that. See that? Look how it's narrow here, like that. And then it comes a little bit narrower and gets a little bit wider like that. And see, I'm just drawing very lightly. I'm not even holding my pencil like this. And I'm holding my pencil nice and loose. And I'm drawing it nice and loose. We will be drawing more tighter later. But now is the rough, loose stage. So that way our drawings will look more lively and sketchy and have that life to it rather than looking all stiff and serious. Most important thing though is to what?
Have fun.
That's right. Because if you're having fun, then you're going to be
practicing.
That's right. And practice makes
perfect.
That's right. But you don't need to be perfect because the most important thing is to
have fun.
That's right. Okay. So let's continue on here. Okay, so we'll get the basic shapes and the construction down first, and then we're gonna refine it later. Let's get his arm in now. Okay. So let's put his arm. So look, again, we're going to cross-reference. So his leg's here. So his arm's going to be right about here. Right about here. See where his jaw is right there? It's going to be right about here. It's going to stick out like this. It's going to be coming, his elbow's going to be right here. So it's going to make a little part for his elbow. It's going to bend like that where his elbow is. And see, and this is the other part of his hand like that. It's going to pop out like that. And then see where this part here is. It's gonna drop. That's where his fist is gonna be. It's gonna drop down into like his arm, his hand actually, which is kind of like making like a fist that's coming down like this. Okay. So here's his fingers. There's 1, 2, and another line here to represent that, and then curving in like that. It's 3. Okay, there we go. There is his hand. So how did I do that? So it's sort of a round shape coming out like that, and then it curves around here for his elbow, and then this is his forearm, comes down, and into this fist shape is kind of like a circle here, or a box, circular shape. I come down like that, drop it down into some finger shapes. Okay, we're going to refine that later more, but here, I'll clean it up a bit so you can see it. There we go. That's his fist. Oh, you've already done that. Very good. Okay, so, and now we're going to be doing his boots now. It's so cool. He's a dinosaur wearing boots. Okay, so remember, we're going to think in 3 dimensions. So we're going to draw this. Think of his boot wrapping around. So we're going to draw the edge of his boot. See how it's like narrower here? That just makes it look like it's wrapping. So we're drawing the upper rim of his boot. And it's going to be getting thicker here as it's getting towards us and getting more narrow here as it's getting away from us. Okay, that's called perspective. Okay, here we go. And that's the rim of his boot, okay? And now we're gonna come down And let's make a boot shape. It's kind of like, you know, it's the shape of a boot. It's just kind of roundish in the front. Just sort of make a round boot shape. Now you can make his feet a little bit bigger if you want to make him look cuter or smaller. It's up to you. There we go. I make it about that big. Okay. All right. And I think he has a heel on his boot. Maybe we can add a little heel here. You don't have to. Okay, there we go. That's his boot. It's kind of a round shape coming around. Okay. And now we are going to draw his other boot, which is going to be, let's figure out where his other leg would be. His other leg would be right about here. Okay. And it's going to be hidden by his body here, which is dropping down. Okay. And we're just going to draw his other boot shape sticking out like right about here. Don't make it stick out too much because this boot's in front of us. That boot's away from us. So it's the same size. His feet are the same size, but look, it looks smaller. Why is that?
Because it's in perspective.
That's right. We're looking at him on an angle and his other leg is farther away and things farther away look
smaller.
That's right. Okay, so that's how we got it. And this is just a little edge here. I'm making a little edge here for the you know, he's got the bottom part of his feet. It's like a little edge here. We should do that on this side too. So wrapping around here is like an edge. It's kind of hard to see when I'll be cleaning it up a bit for you guys. Okay, so it's like a little edge here for his boot, which wraps around here like this. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's get his other fist in. We're gonna draw his fist now. So starting right about here, we're gonna draw a fist shape. So there we go. Here's one kind of finger, and here's his other finger coming down into another finger coming down here into his thumb shape, which is gonna come at an angle like that and cut in like that. There we go. There we go. There we go. There is his other hand. Now hands and fists are difficult, so don't worry if you don't got it right. They're very difficult. Just kind of get a shape, a general shape in. So it's kind of like get the angle. So it comes down, then another angle, then come up. So that makes the thumb. Make a little dark part for this part of his thumb here. You can look at your own hand as a reference too. Look at your own hand. Okay. So looking at my own hand, I can see that if I want to make it more exact, this would be the finger part right there. Okay, don't need to put so much detail. Just get the general shape in. See? So now you see that you can just look at your own fist here and just get the general shape in. See? So we want to get angles here. So one angle that way, one angle that way. So just get a few angles, get it separated. So this side's the thumb, this side's the fingers. You know, you can put like a line there to represent the finger coming down. You don't need to be so exact. There we go. So you see one finger here, another finger here, and he's got more fingers, but they're kind of hidden. We can just kind of, in art, you don't have to draw everything out. There are some things that'll be hidden because of perspective, and you know they're there, but it's better not to draw them because they actually wouldn't be seen. They're in perspective. Or either that you can just suggest things in art, and then your imagination will fill it in. That actually makes for better art often, okay? So just get the general shape in there because everything is basically made up of basic
shapes.
That's right. So now that we've got our basic shapes down, we're going to go to the next stage, which is refining the drawing. Okay, so what does that mean?
Like refining, making the shapes more like how you want it.
That's right. Making the shapes more accurate. We start off with more basic shapes, but we can capture the subtle nuances in the shape. So for example, you see this is a round, we started with a round circle here, but maybe his nose isn't exactly perfectly round. Now, you could leave it like that, it'll still look great. But I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just gonna start refining now, and I'm just gonna lightly draw over top, and I'm going the same direction. I'm not making hairy lines back and forth. Okay, and you can just sort of refine the shape. Now, what is his shape of his nose? Well, it's pretty round actually. Now this part here is not perfectly round. It kind of comes up on an angle like that. So this is what I mean here. So that comes up on an angle. So it wasn't perfectly round, see? We can leave that there like a guideline. We can erase it later. But you see how that came up like that on an angle. Now see, this part here also isn't perfectly round, although you could make it round. It looks cute like that. And everybody draws in a different style, so there can be subtle differences. It doesn't matter. Most important thing, again, is to have fun and just and just work with it. So here, we're gonna make it a little, I'm gonna make it a little bit more like an angle. See, this is what I mean by refining the shapes. See, it's a little bit more straighter rather than rounder. And then it's gonna come down on an angle like this. See, this is more refined shapes now. It's a little bit more angular and squared off. Still a little bit round, okay? So I'm just refining the drawing now. That's the refining stage. To capture the little nuances in the shape. That'll make things look even more, it could make things look better. Okay, so here we go. I'm also darkening the lines, so we're making sure that we got the exact lines we want before we go to the next stage.
Which is the inking stage.
That's right. It's the inking stage is the next stage, or the finished drawing stage, which you can actually ink it, or you can do a finished drawing, which I will explain how to do that. So please stick around. We are definitely not done yet. We will be also coloring as well.
Yep.
So please stick around to the end of the video.
Be sure to.
That's right. Okay, so just as you see when I'm darkening, and we're also going to put a little detail here for the white part of, he's all green, but he's actually got this sort of inner belly area here.
Like a dinosaur, like kind of like Pokemon, like they have like something in the middle of them.
That's right. So see, it's kind of like curving up like that, and it's gonna come up like there. And you want to avoid drawing lines. See, this is his arm here, so you don't want to draw the same line. That would be called a tangent. You want to leave a little gap there, okay? So there's no tangents. Okay. All right, so here we go. And I'm darkening things a little bit to make them more definite so you can see everything nice and clear. Okay. His mouth comes down. I'll shade his mouth in a little bit. You can see that, so it looks cool. All right, things are looking pretty good. All right, there we go. And how's the shape on this? Go up a little bit, around. All right. All right, there we go. You can add details at this stage. We start off with just general shapes, but we can detail things. And he's also got some little details here that would be red colored when we color it. They're little, what do you call these things? These
orangey.
These scales, or I forgot what they're, these fins on him?
Yeah, kind of like spikes on a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot what the technical name is for that. I think they're called, I forgot what they're called. Okay, there we go. I'm even thinking should I make his tongue stick out more? What do you think?
If you want.
I think we should stick his tongue. I got a lot of room here. I want to stick that tongue out more. Now, you don't have to do that, but you can if you want to. Okay, so I'm just going to extend that shape. Let's stick it out. Wow, look at that. Look at that. You can make it like curve up and then come around. See, that's when you're drawing in pencil. Look at that. You can do that. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Stick that tongue out.
I think I'm going to make mine a little bit longer as well.
Look at that. See, I curve it up and then around. Get that shape going. So it's like wider here. Give it some action. There we go. All right.
I'm going to make mine wider as well.
Cool. And just refine little details. Alrighty. Okay, here's where you can double check your drawing and make the changes as you need to before we go to the next stage. And you can also clean up a little bit too. Those lines wouldn't be there when final stage. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, so the next stage is the
inking stage.
That's right. The next stage is the inking stage. Okay, so if you have an ink marker, please pull one out. If you don't have one, you can even use a ballpoint pen, just a blue pen, black pen that you commonly write with, or you can use a Sharpie or fine liner. If you don't have that, do not go away because we are not done. Because you actually can do what's called a finished pencil stage. You don't want to leave your drawing like this, although it looks pretty good. It actually can look better. It can right now, if you leave your drawing like this, it may look a little bit rough. See, we still got the guidelines we had in the beginning. We haven't cleaned up yet. So what we're gonna do is get your eraser out and you're going to lightly erase. See, put your pen eraser flat. So if you put it like this, you're gonna erase everything. Put it flat. That way it'll evenly erase, but lightly erase so you can still see it. I'm gonna do an example. See, I've erased part of it. I can still see that, and you can too. See? Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna sharpen your pencil. So get a sharpener out because this is important. You want to sharpen your pencil, that way it'll look nice and finished looking and nice. It'll look like a finished drawing that way. So sharpen your pencil, so that way it'll make your line look nicer for this finished pencil
My
stage.
sharpener's over there.
All right, there you go. Sharpen your pencil, and here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna draw as if you're inking. So what I mean by that, so in this beginning, we started drawing very loose and sketchy, right? And drawing loose. Well, now you're not gonna do that. You're gonna hold your pencil more firm, and you are gonna draw more definitely. You're gonna draw one line as opposed to sketchy lines. You're gonna draw one line like this. See that? You're gonna draw one line as if you're inking it. See that? One clean line, and aim for long lines. If you can, use your whole arm for the longer lines. Make a long continuous line. See that? Just one long line like that. One long line. See how much better that looks? You're
Yep.
gonna do that to the entire drawing. So erase down your whole drawing. You can do all that before you even go to the inking stage. Or you could just go straight into the inking stage. So we do have an ink marker. So the next stage is we're gonna ink it. I think it's about time to...
Time lapse.
3, 2, 1, time lapse! Okay, now we are going to be coloring. Colorize. All right, we're about to colorize our Yoshi.
Yep.
All right, so grab some green colors, grab some red colors, grab some brown colors, grab some light gray colors, and we should be all set basically, okay? So you can just color Yoshi one shade of green and not worry about shading or highlights. Or you can do a little bit of shading. We're gonna see how this goes. And yeah, so follow along, kids. And let's do some coloring. Okay, I think we're gonna start off with, so I've got a couple shades of green here. You know, so different, some greens are darker, some are lighter. So when a tone is darker or lighter, what's that called?
Values.
That's right. So different values. So this is a darker value, that's a lighter value. And so you don't need that many values. You only need like a couple. So light and dark, for example, shadow and light. You want to separate the shadows and the lights. So I'm going to start off with a darker one first. Okay. And now keep in mind with felts, you cannot actually go lighter, but you can go darker. So keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the darker one here. Okay, now I'm gonna take my lighter green. See that I was using this one. Now I'm gonna use this one, it's a little bit lighter. And I'm gonna do the half tone, which is just a little bit, sort of the middle tone here. That's a little bit lighter than this color. I'm just gonna put it right beside it. And you can actually blend it together too, if you kind of like lightly touch in between the two. But you don't need to worry about that too much. You don't need to worry about blending too much. Sometimes hard edges look good. Often they do. I like green color. Do you like green color?
Yep.
I like characters that are green usually. I don't know why. I think green's a cool color. Maybe that's why Yoshi is so cool.
I like Yoshi because he's cute.
Me too. I'm taking my darker one and just putting. All right, that's for the super dark areas. So I'm putting the darker one where the darkest shadows are, and that's usually going to be around. And I'm also trying to define his leg a little bit more. That's where his leg connects here. And there's also the dark shadow that is actually cast from his elbow here too. I can kind of darken that here to indicate that. It's a very dark shadow there. Okay? To indicate that. Okay, we don't want to overdo that though. All right, and go. And here his nose is round, so just think round. Just go around in a circle. Right. I'm making this our hand a little bit darker because it's further away from us and it's in shadow because of his head too, blocking it. It should cast a shadow on there, so it's going to be a little bit darker. You can use your own hand as a reference. You can just look at your hand and kind of see. Okay, I think there'll be a little bit of a darker area there. I think a little bit darker here, area between the thumb and where everything meets up. Okay, we don't need to overdo that. That's good.
Now we're going to go back in time lapse.
There we go. Wow, yours is looking awesome. Wow. Okay. I'm almost done here. Now I'm gonna do his red thing there.
It's like a button.
Yeah.
And then his tongue.
Oh yeah, don't forget his tongue. I'll do that later. Now, these markers, these are Copic markers. You have to get the right angle on them. See, they got two tips, one side fine, one side like a chisel. But you gotta hold it on the right angle to get it to get it work nicely. We hope you enjoy drawing Yoshi with us.
See you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.